Hello, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today in this video, I'm going to answer this pretty common question on what people should do regarding programming languages. Let me first, just in case, if you're interested in these type of topics, just come on over to the quantlabs.net for a bunch of free books. If you want to get a 7-day trial, just come on over to QuantLabs shop, pick off USBs, and you can pick off any of these USB keys to get yourself uh, a trial, a 7-day trial to my analytics program I'm going to talk about, as well as a series of videos on algo trading and how to use MotiveWave versus Python, which I'll cover here. So let's get back to the question. So the question is, hey Brian, I've been lurking about a month, but I made an account and interact with you after watching your video that was just the terminal window with small, consistent gains. That's what I get, and that's what I'm getting today. Analysis, I've dabbled in computer science for years and years, but never dived head first. But I put too much emphasis on web development, not enough on algorithms, etc. I guess if you're in survival mode, like the rest of us in this pandemic, do you recommend learning Foundation in C and then obviously transitioning to C++ and Python? Or do you think I should go straight into Python for all the libraries? All right, so as I said, this is going to be a shocker video for a lot of people. Um, there is a course that I've got if you want to know how to build Python trading bots, be it for for crypto or for MotiveWave. Now, if you want to get right down the languages and depending upon your coding skills, and if you want to stay in the most popular or will be the most popular programming language out there, I'd do Python. It's easy, it's machine learning, data science, everything is Python's number one at it, without a doubt. So that's the path I would go. You can build some decent little custom trading bots in crypto or Forex, depending upon the asset class you want in Python. Now, that's another question you have to ask yourself. What is the asset class you want to trade? Uh, right now, if you watch my webinar from last night, it's pretty convincing you'd probably want to watch or focus on crypto. And there's a lot of reasons for it. So those are the two driving questions you have to ask yourself is, are you wanting to just whatever asset class you want to focus on? That's a question you have to ask yourself. And you know, at what level of a platform are you wanting to develop? Now, for the last 2 weeks of my webinars, I've been talking about this extensively. Okay, so in this particular USB key that I've mentioned earlier, here under new USB keys, if you go under there, what you'll find is key, basically uh, there's a choice between a really advanced trading platform like MotiveWave or Python. Now, if you had to choose between the two and I had to do it all over again from, let's say, 10 years ago, I would definitely go with a platform. The platform will do all the heavy lifting for you, all the charting, all the database connectivity, the connectivity to your data provider, as well as your broker or exchange. So it takes care of all that for you. That in itself is a big dilemma you'll face. Last night's webinar, when you talk about the strategy, you will be probably challenged over the years if you pursue it that long, that whatever platform or whatever strategy you come up with and implement, the regime will have changed and your strategy will no longer be as effective. I've addressed the backtesting. I've addressed a whole slew of considerations when it comes to algo development. So I've answered the best as I can on the programming languages for you. Um, but from a higher perspective. Um, I'm starting to see more consistent profit again, and I think that this is probably more long lasting, more sustainable. Um, so basically, what I've done is I've worked 100% now over the last few weeks in crypto, forex, CFD, and Motorwave. As I said, with a trading platform. Motorwave is a fairly advanced trading platform from what I've seen compared to the same price of other platforms. It's in a fairly open programming language like Java, and it's not proprietary like, I don't know, TradeStation or MetaTrader, where you can't do a whole lot with it because it's in a proprietary language. So there's that advantage. Now with Motorwave, what you can do is there's a lot of functionality you can use. There's not a lot of programming involved. But if you want, you have over 300 studies to choose from. Those are the same as indicators, and you get source code with them. I mean, that is unheard of, but it's there. And whatever combinations you like, you can turn them into strategies and code those up in Java with the Motorwave software development kit. So what I'm saying is you'll be up and running a lot faster, and it's a lot easier to maintain. And you have less plumbing to worry about, as I said, with all the database charting and the connectivity to all your providers and brokers and whatnot. So it makes life a lot easier, and you just focus on the strategy. And as I said, you have enough out there with Motorwave to choose from among 300 studies of what works, what doesn't work, and the back testing is another big factor. I can tell you, I've got folks that have done back testing. They're pulling their hair out, trying to figure out what asset performs best over what period. And then when they do the walk forward, I mean, it breaks down. So again, with Motorwave, that functionality is very powerful and it's very quick to give you answers. So that's something I would definitely consider versus just raw programming. Now, that's all automation. That is all programming and so on and so forth. But last night's webinar was a very key webinar in the sense that do you do programming at all, or how much programming would you allow versus human intervention or discretionary trading? My simple answer is this: get a platform that you're very comfortable with. I'm very comfortable, and I'm getting really solid with Motorwave, so that's my platform. From there, you have to try to find your strategies that look best, that gives you the best timing on your entries and exits, that give you the best profit potential with the minimal entry and exits that kind of lose. So there's that to consider. What I'm finding is, with my experience, I have scripts that will pick out potential winners. Let's say in crypto, that's where the Python helps. So you can develop some very good tools from that in Python to develop what will your winners be at this time. It can be based upon ranking. It can be based upon screening, based upon some very simplistic trends. Like trend is what I use, and it works. You could just see it by volume, and the ranking of those coins that do have solid trend over a certain amount of time. That's what you got to figure out optimally. What is let's say the maximum amount that you want to measure on trend? So that's one thing. So you can develop some decent tools in Python or in whatever language, or even Python or in Motorwave itself. Once you have that, how Motorwave works, unfortunately, the limitation of it is you have to set up your trade setup. So you have to set up all your instruments or your charts, apply your strategy that you think will win for that trading session. Once you do that, then you'll get more consistent profit when you watch the entries come in on those instruments and charts that you open up. I'm just doing it right now. You will get more consistent profit. Now, here's the problem I'm finding, and again, that webinar from last night was part of the solution and answer, was that in the entries look good. I've got 5 on, 6, 7 on right now, crypto. Um, but I'm watching the exits. The exits are important because can I rely on the exit with automation? And usually I've proven myself over the last 2, 3 nights in both CFD, Forex, and as well as crypto. That's not the case. Automation does not seem to work all that well on the exit. And there's a bunch of people who'll say otherwise, and that's fine. I'm just basing it upon my experience. So when you eyeball on the entry, the position's open, and you watch the unrealized P&L, and when you think the maximum's been hit, just manually close the position. Okay, Sarah, Sarah. There's other ways to do it. I demonstrated in the webinar from last night where you could set up alerts through different components within, let's say, again, MotoWave. So that's an option, but so far, I think from what I'm seeing, the unrealized P&L manually closing out positions that get opened up with the strategy you choose works best. And I've been getting more consistent profit. Really good. But that's in the up days when the US markets are up. So if you were to ask me again, what would happen in the the uh, assets or instruments that'll move and have profit? Um, well, my answer to that is in this case today, is I put up some videos on markets are down, slightly down. But when I run certain scans, I might be able to say, okay, the U.S. might be down, but I'm watching potentially China and Australia that may do well tonight, or a pair that might do well, or crypto might do well. I've put on some trades with defense trades with the U.S. Treasury, or the USD and the Swiss franc might be pretty good as a trade as well. So there are opportunities there, but that's where you got to be more experienced as a trader to sort of overcome the ultimate goal of having consistent profit. Um, to come in from a mathematician or a computer science point of view can help, but ultimately, where you're going to find success, honestly, is to just play around more from a trading perspective. Get really strong in the trading versus trying to beat the traders with the computer science and only the computer science background. That doesn't work. You got to be a consistently good trader and be able to know the nuances of trading to succeed in trading. I rarely have seen out of the people I've talked to that have truly succeeded in trading. And when they do, it's a temporary thing. I just had a guy, same thing as me. We've done pretty good in August in crypto when the markets were hot with the DeFi movement. Along comes September, and we have now DeFi is not working out, and very low volume in the major crypto coins, and there's no trading opportunities. So what do? So is your computer science going to be able to rescue you there? No. You got to find other trading opportunities as a trader and be able to use your trading experience to be able to find those trends and be able to overcome the challenges you're currently in. So that's very, very, very crucial if you're going to do this full time as a fully automated, algorithmic based, or systematic trader, or doing half and half, which I'm kind of leaning towards now, um, based upon the procedures I'm explaining here, which is again, find your platform that you like, uh, find your strategy, automated strategy that looks good, find your winners by developing some form of tool that will show the movers, the gainers for the day, that trading session that you're watching right now. That's one. Find your strategy to do the entries uh, automatically that usually can win, but then at the other end of it, you do have to watch those exits on the open positions to um, get yourself uh, um, to get yourself consistent wins. It's the only way. That's from what I'm seeing, and I've gone through this a couple of times where I'm always trying to tell my computer science head, my computer science brain's trying to override that trading experience and trying to say, oh no, man, there's going to be an end-to-end automated way to do this with automated exits. I've not seen it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that will say it does exist. I know it exists. As I said, the problem is the market regime changes, then that strategy becomes pretty well irrelevant, and that's just the way it goes. From the last number of years I've been at it, and if you're new at it, I would strongly recommend what I say seriously and save yourself some time and headaches down the line. I'm not saying I'm ultimately right. You may get strategies that do well, but ultimately those strategies are only going to be good for a month, a week, maybe a couple of months, the best, because the markets change, and that's where you, as a trader, an experienced trader, and having the ability as a trader to override and conquer, to consistently profit, which is what everybody wants. So I just want to say that. So despite your language as you want, despite all the algorithms, um, I'm basically saying you might need to change your approach and come in from a trading perspective and beef up that before the computer science and mathematician. When it comes from an institutional level, like the Renaissance technologies, that's a different ballgame. They got the physics experts and the math wizards and the computer science geeks that can bang out stuff, but they're doing the same thing. What I'm saying, they're always rebalancing, they're always changing their models, they're always adjusting to what the market regime leads them to. So that's the way, and it all comes down to training experience based there. So I'm hoping this helps you out, and I'm sure there's gonna be some other questions and follow up and whatever else. But that's just the reality I've seen so far. Other than that, have a good one and good luck. Later.